So as you do your research, tell me openly and honestly, how much has changed
In regards to your original question?
in regards to our racism and our acceptance of?
I feel that we've still got a very long way to go. I feel that in the era that I'm writing about, it was more overt. So, let me bring this black child over to be my pet. It's so overt. Nowadays, it's it's inside, it's still there. So whereas when I was a little girl, I was called the N-word because my school was in an area that was very, very white. And so I was called that quite openly. But now I think we have it. I mean, that still happens, unfortunately, but we still have this thing called unconscious bias where people will act a certain way in regards to their unconscious racism, whether it's if they see you, oh, where are you from? You're very articulate. I'm articulate? Oh, okay. Just things like that.
Oh,
They're not
man.
great. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah,
Man,
as old as I am.
With humans.
Yeah, it's not great.
You see where I come from, there is a very, very famous saying in Islam where basically there's no difference between an Arab and a foreigner, a person of light skin and a person of dark skin, other than by their good deeds, and it's so entrenched in all of us. But I can promise you, and I swear this is true. Growing up in Egypt, because in Egypt you have all skin colors and they're all fellow Egyptians, right?
Yeah.
I actually never noticed. In my mind, I remember vividly that I had this friend of mine who was from Sudan, and so his hair was curlier than mine. And we would just make fun of how curly his hair is.
Yeah.
But I actually never saw him as a different person. It was like my best friend, right? And in an interesting way, if you're never really exposed to that, you don't notice any difference. But then somehow in some societies, it becomes so prominent, even though we hide it, that it is the first impression people have of other humans. Is this because of the past conditioning? Like if you frequently, like in New York City, the taxi drivers are foreigners, so you expect every taxi driver to be a foreigner. I mean,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Well, we know that when a child is born, they're not born, with any racist ideals. It changes about 3 when they go to school. They see the differences, and it's quite sad when you see that because there is conditioning that happens after that. So yeah, this is something that's ingrained. It's ingrained in society, and it's not something that will change overnight. But what I try to do with my work, with my books, is kind of show a little piece of that, to kind of highlight it, but in subtle ways. Because I think the ways we've spoke about already are quite overt, but there are subtle ways that I like to bring that out.